Am I on, Harry? Good morning. Woo! Merry Christmas. We are at the end of the week. Can you believe that? Christmas is next week. We are at the end of the week. This is my last show for 2024, and baby, it is jam packed with some folks. So first up at 9:30, I'm delighted to welcome Julius Thomas III. From Hamilton, the touring Hamilton. He is in the Long Wharf production. She Loves Me, and he is just gorgeous, gorgeous. And if you've not ran your little selves over to see She Loves Me, you've got time. You've got until the 30th to catch this show. So that means you've got today, this weekend, next week, to see this beautiful, beautiful show. So anyway, Julius is coming on at 9:30. He'll probably give me about 15, 20 minutes of conversation talking about this play. He is wonderful. I'm telling you, if you need a little romance, and need a little happiness, a little happy ending, a little bit of tension, and some singing and dancing, this is the show for you. So I hope people see it. I saw it. I saw it opening night, and it was so. I just loved everything about it. From just seeing the space become the jewelry store and the city street and all the things, to see it become that, to see this very BIPOC cast, very BIPOC cast. I mean, everybody sees themselves in this thing. And it's lovely, 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 lovely. And I'm taking my daughters, and listen, if that's not enough, we're going to give you a pay what you can. Weeks, a week, a day, a couple of days, and pay what you can. So there's no excuse. Listen, slip some tickets into the stockings on the mantle. Santa has come to town. You will love this thing. And listen, if I didn't love it, I wouldn't tell you. I would not even be talking about it. And listen, full disclosure, y'all know I'm on the board of Long Wharf Theater, and I love just about every daggone thing we do, but I love this so much, you know. I mean, it ain't the crucible, baby, because God knows. And Long Wharf Theater, we're celebrating 60. We're 60 years old. Long Wharf Theater is as old as I am. So so listen, celebrate with us, and get a ticket, get some tickets. This is world class theater that you don't have to get on the train. And I'm not suggesting don't get on the train. I love a good ride into New York just like the next person. And I love Broadway. Don't get me wrong. I love it. My friends work on Broadway. I've seen some amazing stuff on Broadway. So I am all about that life. But and as Jacob Prodone likes to say, and there's great theater here in New Haven. There's great theater here in Connecticut overall, but New Haven has great theater. I saw the wonderful play at Collective Consciousness. I saw the wonderful that wonderful Macbeth turn, Lady Macbeth turn at the Yale Rep. I saw a couple of things at Yale Rep this year that was really just like, whoa. So I've seen a lot of stuff this year. I saw stuff through the Arts and Ideas, which was amazing. I saw stuff at the Schwartzman Center that was incredible. Just world class stuff. I'm so sorry I missed Mr. Winter yesterday performing the solstice celebration at Woosley Hall. But I'll catch him the next time he's around. It was a pleasure to talk to him. So we've got some art in this town. And at 1 o'clock today, I'm going to be talking with Lucy Gelman about, all the stuff that I saw this year, or, and I got to go through my calendar and make some notes because I saw a lot of stuff, which is not unlike any other year because I go to the theater a lot. So I just thought I'd just start with that. And so Julius will be on at 9:30. But I said I was going to read I've got to get a Nikki Giovanni poem in before we get to talking. Uh, and I want to stay true to that. And you know, I uh, I miss her, and I don't want her to be out of my consciousness. You know, uh, I think I've just about read everything from this book. I think, but I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I did this one, but we're gonna find one, and then we're gonna go right back talking about all the things. Good morning, Harry. Good morning, Paul. I'm so excited. It's exciting. It is very exciting. And then at 10:15, I've got the community choir folks coming on. They've got a concert coming up. I think it's Allison. She's coming on, and she was on before, and I was so tempted to go and sing with them. I really was this year. She was on, and I followed him on social media, and I've been like, ooh, I am so tempted to come sing with y'all. You know. So anyway, I uh, I was she's coming on to talk about what they got coming on, and think tomorrow. I think they got a concert coming up, and I'm excited. Home for Flora. I'm gonna go with that one this morning. When she was little and colored and ugly with short, straightened hair and a very pretty smile, she went to Sunday school to hear about Nebuchadnezzar, the king of the Jews, and she would listen. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego in the fire, and she would learn how God was neither north nor south, east or west, with no color but all. She remembered all she remembered was that Sheba was black and comely, and she would think, I want to be like that. Thank you, Ms. Nikki Giovanni. Thank you very much. So, so anyway, uh, caroling last night was amazing. It was amazing. I enjoyed everything about it. Oh yes, Harry, I meant to send you this. Lord have mercy. She sent it to me. Now I gotta find it. Um, Christmas caroling last night was wonderful. It was so nice. And we didn't do the whole neighborhood. I mean, we did. We were, we've been doing this for 3 years, and they're just houses that we just go. I remember to go to because they always come outside and want us to, and cheer us on and take pictures of us. And so that happened last night. So we went we went round and um saw some folks and sang. It was nice. And Ms. Layla was in perfect form. I mean, she brought the percussion for Feliz Navidad, Harry. She gave us a percussion filled beatbox Feliz Navidad. So thank you, Karen DeBose Walton. Thank you, Milda McClain for coming out. It was wonderful. Thank you, Sophie Kaplan, for showing up. And all the folks who came out of their houses, who stood and listened to us sing, who came out and sang with us. Thank you for that. That was very, very nice. And little kids and people driving by, stopping to see what we were doing, like caroling in New Hallville. Yes, child, we carol in New Hallville. So I don't, I dare say I'll be in a new neighborhood next year. This time, I definitely will be in a new neighborhood next year. Or maybe this neighborhood. I don't know, but I don't know if I leave this neighborhood if I'll come back to Carol because I feel like we got a strong following here. But we'll see what happens. Sophie is here, so maybe we'll come back and we'll just meet up at Sophie's house and go sing from there. for the fourth annual Newhallville caroling. It was very, very nice. Tonight we are caroling at Possible Futures. So if you thought you missed caroling, you have not. So we will be outside. We're not going to stroll the neighborhood in Edgewood because it's because that neighborhood is big, big, big and wide, wide, wide. So we're going to stand on the corner of Edgewood and Hotchkiss. And we're just gonna sing a couple of Christmas songs to just keep us in the mood. And at 4 o'clock or whenever you get over there, the world needs more love letters. The holiday edition is the last day for this. So if you want to write a love letter, if you feel like you want a love letter, or you know what? Here's the other thing. If you have Christmas cards that you want to get done, bring your Christmas cards. If you feel like you want to you want to ride that way. But in any event, it's the holiday season, and I want to do my part to make sure that I have some joy. That's really what this is. This is really about what I want, what I need and want for myself. So it's that spirit of give what you need. This truly is that. So I'm delighted to welcome Julius Thomas III, and to have this wonderful conversation about this beautiful production. Oh, it's wonderful. So he's logging in as we speak. He's in the waiting room. We got a few minutes before we get started. Listen, I'm in such a good mood. Um, Such a good mood. I've got letters of recommendation for law school from folks. Thank y'all. I tell you, it takes a village to send a girl to law school. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the kind folks and the kind words. It's a beautiful thing. I don't get to see the letters unless people send me the letters, because there's a portal that they have to send them to. So I don't get to see what people say. Although my friend Ron Thomas sent me his yesterday. I thought that was very kind of him. So yeah, today is the my last show of the year. I'm glad I'm going out talking about things I care deeply about, which is art and art production and art choreography and artists and actors and singers and folks who make us think. The real activists of the world, I say this all the time, the real activists of the world are always the artists. They give us voice to the things that we cannot speak aloud. They bring our attention to things that we feel like we can't bear. And so they bring it to us, so that we can live into our full selves and question things and ask questions and ponder and fall in love and fall out of love and see our own inhumanity and see our humanity. That is for me what art can do, what art does. Art can cure things. It can absolutely cure things. So get yourselves to this play. And I don't say that because I'm on the board. I'm proud to be on this board because I love everything that we're doing. I love the leadership of Jacob Pradon and Nancy Alexander as the board chair, and I love the people I get to serve with because they are decent, hardworking, believing in the arts, and want to see the American theater step back into its glory. And so that's what any of us all want. So I'm delighted to be a part, to have some hand in helping reshape the American theater in this country. And that's what we're doing with the itinerant model that we are all behind for the Long Wharf Theater. So join us. And by that I mean go get a damn ticket and go see the show and let your heart be light. Fall in love. Take your significant other or your children so they can see a God honest love story. A real love story. Born out of tension and struggle and oh and heartbreak and heart cheer and see all of that. So yeah, this is more than just a stocking stuffer. This is an honest to God gift. So fill up this theater, There's enough seats. It's wonderfully done. It's beautiful. You will leave the theater dancing, and you will feel like, ah, the world is all right. It's not, but it's all right. So, anyway, I'm excited. I'm starting my morning with my Moroccan mint tea. It's hot, hot, hot. I need some. All that daggone singing I did last night, which was wonderful. Uh, we're gonna sing some more today, and then I'll be back in good voice next year. So we'll we'll uh we'll uh we'll be all right. So yeah, it was wonderful. And the some of the video and the pictures are up on my social media sites if you want to see us out there caroling. And honestly, Newhallville is very lit. Some of these houses are just beautifully decorated. Charlie Blango's house is on the block over there on the corner of Newhall and Ivy. Baby, it is blinged the hell out. It looks, and it's well done blinged out, right? Like it's not it looks very thoughtful. And so she came outside. I think it's Mrs. Blanco. She came outside and she said, we did this for the granddaughter. And the way she said it, I was like, the way I interpreted her saying that was like, child, I would not have done all this. So so I read between the lines, people. I read between the lines. And but the house is gorgeous. And so many houses in the neighborhood are decorated. So it's really nice. So forget what you heard or what you think. There's loveliness and beauty here. And people have great pride and are in the holiday spirit despite everything that is going on, despite tragedy and violence, despite all of it. There's a spirit here that is engaging and infectious. So anyway, welcome Mr. Julius Thomas to the mic.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Give us a few seconds and let us get our little music on, and we'll get to talking.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Good morning. I get to welcome Julius Thomas III from She Loves Me, the play that the Long Wharf Theater is putting on at the Concord Lab over there in right there in Hamden and on the Newhallville line. I saw the performance, Julius. You are absolutely lovely.
That is so kind of you. I'm glad you got to see it. Happy holidays, by the way. I'm loving your
Happy holidays.
festiveness you got going over there.
You if you don't do it, it won't. You know what I mean? Like you have to do it, right? You have to step into the season if you want the season to be joyful. So,
Yeah. I think
how are
it's
you feeling?
make the spirits bright. Yeah.
Yes, make the spirits bright. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I've been having a really wonderful time here in New Haven, testing out all of y'all's good food and pizza and walking around Hogwarts. I mean Yale,
No, you got it right. I love that. I love that. I love that they fed you some pizza, right? And whatever else they fed you, because there's a lot of food in this town.
A lot of
A
good
lot of
food.
food. A lot of good food. So tell me about this. Tell me about this production of She Loves Me, because you are lovely in it. You're beautiful in it. It's a great love story. And Julius, I love a happy ending. Just
So do I. I gotta say, well, you know what? I'm an actor, so I love all kinds of endings. I love a tragic, crying, laying on the floor, can barely get up, kind of, can't move from your seat because you're so devastated. But this one is very much a rom-com. It is in the vein of You've Got Mail, if you've ever seen that movie.
I have.
several other pieces of work that have come from the source material of this. But it's just a beautiful story about finding connection and love, and it centers around the holidays, and so I think it's something that all of us can sort of get into in this time period right now, especially with our festive hats and things that we got going on.
Now you're no stranger to, singing because you're part of that whole Hamilton universe, which is still so huge and it's still impossible to get tickets to. Still, after all this time, um, tell me a little bit about that experience because before that, I don't think anybody has had a sense of that kind of production.
Yeah, every, 10 to 20 years, some show comes along and changes the game. And I just so happen to live in the era where Hamilton is the thing that did that. And I got to go out on the road with the show and play the title character for close to 5 years.
Oh my
Um,
gosh,
yeah,
you are Hamilton.
I put in my due diligence. I put in the work. And what I love about Hamilton is that it has prepared me for all the things that have come next. Right before this show, I was off doing my very first play, leading my very first play, I should say. It's my second play I've ever done. And now I'm getting to do this golden age of Broadway musical that no one has ever looked at me in my 20 years of doing this. No one has ever said, Julius, come be a part of our golden age of musicals Broadway show. And I'm so grateful to the Long Wharf Theater because they've allowed me to do something new, even after 20 years of doing this. It's very cool how
Really?
each thing sort of lines up, and Hamilton sort of prepared me for this.
Oh, I love that. So, when you began your career, Julius, when you were a kid, were you an artsy kid? Were you a musician kid? Were you a band kid? Like how did you know that this would be the work that you would be called to do?
Well, I was a church kid, and so
Oh shoot.
and so my dad's a minister, my mom's the treasurer of the church that I grew up in, and so I grew up doing all manner of music, ministry in church, leading praise and worship, singing in the choir, directing the youth choir, and that's where I discovered that I had an ability. Um, my love for music was fostered by discovering the Jackson Five. I'm from Gary, Indiana.
Oh
My
shoot.
my family lived on Jackson Street, and I had some of the same musical instructors and teachers that taught some of the Jacksons. And so yeah, I fell in love with music that way. I didn't really think of it as a career or as anything other than, something that I did in church and, in school and PTA meetings and stuff like that. Um, and until about my junior year of college, which is when I decided that it was time to, ditch what I was doing because I wasn't in love with it and try something.
Where'd you go to school?
I started at the University of Northern Iowa in Cedar
Hmm.
Falls, Iowa, on a full scholarship for biology.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I was going to be a physical therapist, and then I ended up, hating it and transferring to Wichita State and doing another 2.5 years there, and walking away with my bachelor's of fine arts with a concentration in musical theater.
Wow. And so what was your first acting gig? Like your very first professional, look, mom, look what I'm doing. I got a job.
It's interesting. I could go back to several different things in my life. Back when I was a kid, I got to be in a Chitlin Circuit play. I don't know if
Uh-oh.
you've ever heard of the Chitlin Circuit.
Of course.
Sure
All
you have.
those it's like, before, like before Tyler Perry's plays.
Yes,
All those
exactly.
like beauty shop and all of that stuff. I
But
know.
in the same vein of the Tyler Perry plays, yes. So I got to do that when I was a kid, but my very first paying theatrical gig was at in Wichita, Kansas, actually at this amazing summer stock theater called Music Theater of Wichita. It's where I did my training, cut my teeth, became a professional that my parents could look back and go, oh, okay, I think he's gonna be fine.
I love that because parents are like, okay, that's nice, baby, but how you gonna eat? How
How
you
you gonna pay the
gonna
bills?
how you gonna pay the bills? How much money we have to send every month? Like what
Right.
needs to happen? So all right, um, so you've done Broadway, you've toured, you do all these things. Talk a little bit about uh the the what it requires to stay in top vocal and physical form to do this kind of work. I mean, you're on stage night after night singing and dancing, and these are not little songs.
Yeah. It takes a commitment that now, I'm very grateful that my parents instilled in me a work ethic. My dad used to always say, do what you have to do today so that you can do what you want to do tomorrow.
Hmm.
And so I've always had like a good work ethic in me. And fortunately, this thing that I'm doing, I love. I really enjoy, singing is my favorite thing on earth. So I sing when I'm angry, I sing when I'm sad, I sing when I'm happy, I sing, when I'm going to pick up the mail. It's just sort of a thing that I fell in love with. So that part comes a little easier because I'm constantly training my voice by singing all day long and at all times of day. But the other requirement is to physically remain in a place where, I'm getting up there in age. So when people are asking me to do, physical things, dancing and hopping and all kinds of stuff, by this age, a lot of people have put that stuff on the shelf. But I'm in the gym, 4 to 5 times a week. I
Okay.
am taking dance classes. I am rehabbing. I'm doing PT to, take care of injuries. I'm not just letting them, maybe it'll be fine. I'll just leave it alone. No, we're getting to work and we're making sure that we're giving our body the love that it needs to continue doing this thing that is so above and beyond what normally would be asked of it.
Mm, mm. I tell you what I was struck by with this production of She Loves Me is the BIPOC cast. Like
Mm,
it's a beautiful looking cast, right? Of all
yeah.
kinds of people. You'd be hard pressed not to find yourself, whoever you are, in this cast.
Yes. Yes, and I think that is what is so beautiful about Long Wharf. The artistic director and our director for this production, Jacob Padron, said to us very early on that he wanted this. He's been wanting to do this show for 15 years, I think he said, and that he wanted it to look like America. He wanted it to look like how the world looks when you walk outside your door. And so that is every shape and size and color and creed and background. And I think it has produced a really beautiful production that we have here because all of us do go through these things. All of us are searching for connection. And what is art supposed to do but reflect life? So if you come to our production, you will see yourself. You will be able to find yourself in one of these characters. And I think that is what the theater should be. It should reflect life.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, there's a couple of things that I love about this production because I'm from New Haven. I've spent a lot of time over at Concord, the lab, so I know what it looks like when it's not all bejeweled the way it is right now.
Yeah.
And to walk in there and see that level of transformation, like it's a world class theater. Did you get a chance to be in there before it was the way it looks now?
I have only seen pictures, and even with that, I am floored. The people over at Long Wharf are something special. I mean, they went in there and they put in the floor, the lights, they covered up everything with curtains and drapes and hung pipes so that we could, have our lighting system. They built up risers, and I mean, they really turned this middle school gymnasium into Marichek's Parfumery, which is where our
Hmm.
show takes place. You walk into the space and you are instantly greeted with 1937 Budapest, Budapest, Hungary. It really helps to sort of transform and transport me when I walk through the space into this perfumery. It's very cool.
It is. It's like the production value is part of the cast, which I
Yes,
which I suspect that's what good theater does. But this more so because we've seen what it was and now we see what it is, and it really is its own character.
it's true. And what I love about the way that they set this up, which is very different from most other ways that I've done theater, usually it's proscenium style, meaning the audience is all in front of us. We talk to each other on a slight angle so that the audience can always see us, but you are all around us. You are a part of the show. You are one of our characters in the show because we catch your eyes and you can be right up close to us. They're as far as an arm length away at times. I could reach out and touch the audience, and they could reach out and touch me. Please don't. You don't want me to run screaming from the room, but it is very cool because then that way we can feed off of your energy, and you can really feel what we are going through.
Mm. So, Julius, how do you decide what you get to play? And are there parts that you're like, no, 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 I'm not going to do that?
Yes, there are. I've gotten to, at this point in my career, I'm very grateful that I do get to pick and choose a bit. My agent, there was a time where the industry was sort of telling me who I was going to be and what I was going to do. I'd go in for all the auditions I felt I was right for, and hope and pray that, I would get called back, and hope and pray that I would get cast, and that would be the way that I would work. And now as my agents send me things, I'm a lot more discerning because now I've played the biggest role in the biggest show in the world. And if that doesn't bring along with it a little bit of an ability to say, nah, I don't think I want to play third character from the left, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't think that that's the trajectory that I'm on. It's time for me to say no to some things and to say yes to the things that excite me, that scare me, that interest me, and that will push my art to its highest form.
Mm. Now, if Hollywood calls, you know, TV, films, all of that, do you answer? Do you step into that?
Oh yes, oh yes. I've already gotten very fortunately to do a few things. I've been on Sesame Street and Law and
Yay!
Order and Modern Family, and what I'm looking for now is that what I put on my vision board for the next thing in my life, and what I pray about is that my series regular, and you will turn on your TV every week, and I will be a face on your television in a show, and that's what I've been sort of aiming towards right now. And
That's such a big deal because there's so many opportunities, Julius, beyond just network stuff. Like there's all these like Netflix has a production, and
yeah,
BT Plus has a production. Everybody has Apple TV has a production. So there's a lot of opportunities for actors to do all kinds of things.
yes, a lot of opportunities and also a lot of actors. And so we are all clamoring all over the country. And now the game has changed a little bit because you used to have to be in New York, you used to have to be in Atlanta or LA in order to make a career of this because you had to walk into a room to be seen. And now we're doing everything just like this. We're doing it via Zoom, we're self-taping ourselves. So you can be in Alaska in the middle of the frozen tundra and still be considered an actor. So the game is a little harder, and it really does come down to numbers, because at a certain point, everybody's talented, everybody's
Hmm.
skilled, but are you right for the gig? Do you walk in and does the producer or the director say, that's my whoever, that's my character, that's my leading man, that's my supporting actor? And so it is a tough thing. I will say, theater is a lot easier for me because there are three very distinct barriers that sort of weed people out. Can you sing it? Can you act it 8 times a week? And can you dance it? And if
Mm.
you can't do those three things, you are weeded out. It weeds out a whole lot of people. And then you get down to a core group of people that you really start to get very specific on, and who's right and who am I feeling most for the character, and who lines up best with the leading lady and how tall or short she is. And all of those factors begin to play a role. And with television and film, it's a lot more arbitrary. There's a lot less barriers to the thing.
So how did you get through the pandemic? Because that we learned a lot about the gigging community. We learned a lot about the vulnerabilities of actors that we did not know before.
Mhm.
Right? The pandemic just illuminated that whole arts world, and at the same time, the arts community saved us because they were putting their lives out there. I mean, you watch the New York actors singing out their windows and playing their instruments and everybody tuning in. And how did you manage and come through? And do you feel fully back from that?
You know, it taught us so many things, one of which is that we sprint to art when the chips are down.
Mm.
I mean, people were binging and trying to escape real life as hard as they could, watching every show, giving shows that had been, out for 20 years, new life. We were searching so hard for something to just take us away from reality. So yes, it illuminated how vulnerable the community is, but also how vital art is to our mental space. For me, what it did was it allowed me to know that, you know how you always say, like, if I had time, I would do X, Y, and Z. I would take time to, I would do this, that, and the other, but I just don't have the time. I found that I'm the person that would do it if I just had the time. And so I created a business for myself. I took all of my art online and started a business that took what I do to corporations and performed for them via Zoom. And I paid my bills through performing and providing entertainment for people who needed that for their businesses. You know, there are hedge funds that need to wine and dine their people, but how do you wine and dine when everything's shut down and we can't, and we're all closed? Well, you call up Julius Thomas III and you say, hey, can you put together a program for us that we can present, a Broadway actor singing from his living room, and we're sitting in our living rooms, and you give us a show. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. And also, I will eat based off of that. So I really got to work, I hate to say it because it sounds so rude for those who struggled, but I thrived during that time where I could actually sit still and cultivate myself.
Mm. I like that. I'm so glad that you came through well.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to sort of see the American theater come back to itself, and we're not there yet. But I see people buying tickets to stuff. I see people coming to stuff. Broadway is looking like it's trying to, get itself together and get itself back to full houses. We're starting to see a little bit of that.
A little bit, yeah. It's still got quite a ways to go, and the kind of things that people are craving has changed since the pandemic. I think we are all continuing to look for escapism. And so, those more hard-hitting, artsy pieces that really want to delve into the human psyche are struggling to find a place in commercial theater anymore. But I think our collective thought process will continue to shift, and we'll be back before we know it.
I love that. So I know you have to go because you probably would like to get some rest and have some breakfast and rehearse or do or have some your own time. But what do you say to these new actors and new folks that are coming up the ranks? Who are coming out of art schools, and they're all glossy eyed, and what do you say to them? How do you encourage them? And what were some encouraging things said to you when you were before you were seasoned and highly sought after?
Yeah, they're kind of one and the same. I will say that I had some people in my life who made it their business to be the worst version of anything so that whenever I experienced trouble in this industry, I will have already overcome it. I had a teacher in high school who literally said, he was a drama teacher. He said, I want to be the hardest and meanest director you have ever had so that when you come up against someone who is hard and mean and does not care about you, that it won't affect you. And I had some teachers in college who, said some things to me that made me really go back to the drawing board and assess what it was that I was putting out into the world. And it didn't feel good at the time, but this is how I boil it down for people. But it was necessary, is the finish of that thought. This is how I boil it down so that it is a little bit more kind for those in the coming generations. You can hear no in two ways, because you're going to hear no in this career. You can hear no as never, I'm terrible, I'm never going to be good. I'm never going to be in this show. I'm never going to be cast as a lead in anything. I'm not going to work. You can hear no and take it to heart, or you can let no be fuel for the fire. I auditioned for Hamilton close to 15 times, going into the room for various different characters. You know, they bring you in once for, you know, let's just say for Burr, Aaron Burr. They bring you in for Burr once and they go, okay, that's nice. And then they bring you three more times, testing you to see if you can do the material again or better, or how you handle it on a different day. And with all of the different characters that I went in for, I went in 15 times. And on that 15th time, I said no, because I was about to get to the point where I was going to let no hit me in the chest and say, you're never going to be in this show. But with the love of some people around me, I went in on that 15th time, and the 15th time was the charm.
Wow.
And my life changed because I did not settle for no the first time.
Wow.
You know, so if that can be an encouragement to anyone, just let no be fuel for the fire.
I love that, because somebody would have heard the no the first 2, 3 times and say, it's over for me.
Yeah,
Like they don't want me. This is not going to work.
right. But you can go back to the drawing board and say, what didn't work? Why
Mm.
didn't they want me that time? And what can I do that next time they go, oh, maybe we do want to see him again? You know, it can be one of those two things.
All right. So, Julius, before I let you go, I always ask people, what do you do to take care of yourself? What is your downtime like? What do you do to relax, to self care, to like get away from the creativity of the work you do? Not so much get away from the creativity, but what do you do for your own rejuvenation?
Yeah, I have a wonderful friend group that I love to hang out with. We play video games, we have game nights. I'm a big fan of getting out into New York City and trying different foods. And so I love to go out to eat. Yeah, those are the things. And as much as I get away from it, I love seeing other people do good work. And so that is a thing that often rejuvenates me, is going to watch other people do work.
Hmm. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. I so greatly appreciate talking to you. The show is She Loves Me. It is at the Lab at Concord. It will run through December 30th. We've already extended it, so it's running through December 30th. Please don't miss this show. It's beautiful. It's just magic and romance and singing and dancing and a happy ending, which I love.
Beautiful. I love it. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. I appreciate you. And
Nice to meet you. Have a good day.
I will come back and see this show again. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Take good care.
You
Merry
too.
Christmas. I love that. That was a wonderful conversation. So what I'm going to do now is take a break. And when I come back from break, Harry, I've got Allison Kegel coming on, and she is going to talk about their upcoming concert tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, Saturday, right? Upcoming St. Nicholas. Uh, and they've got New Haven Public School kids singing. They got Dr. Albert Lee performing. He's going to be singing the title role. And it's tomorrow at Battelle Chapel. And Battelle Chapel's a beautiful place that sits right there on College and Elm. Very imposing looking building, 400 College Street. So just come and see this production here. If you feel you need a little more Christmas cheer, this might be the thing for you. But anyway, Allison is coming on at 10:15, and she's going to talk about this concert, this singing concert. So I'll be back in a few minutes, and I'm going to heat up some more Moroccan tea, and I'll be right back. Hi, this is Babs Rawls Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.